What is going on, everyone? It is Super here, and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. And today I'm going to be doing another top 5 list, and today is going to be the day where I finally unveil my top 5 guest characters. One of those spots is obvious. The other 4, I try to keep it a little bit more of something that I would like to see, even though it might not happen, probably won't happen, but it's just something that I would like to see. That's why it's my top 5 list. But if you guys have your own top 5 list, of course, write your top 5 Injustice 2 guest characters that are not from Mortal Kombat X, because I will be making a whole separate video talking about my top 5 MK guest characters for Injustice 2. This one is just non-MK guest characters. So before I get started, of course, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Q&A video, not Q&A, top 5 videos, or even if you do enjoy the Q&A videos or just any Injustice 2 videos whatsoever, make sure you please leave a like rating on the video. It always helps out, especially the way YouTube is at the moment. But let's get on to the actual list. Actually, wait, before, I did have quite a bit of characters that I would like to see. So before I officially start the top 5, I want to give a honorable mention to a couple of characters that I had here. So number 1 is Judge Dredd. I thought he would look very, very cool in Injustice 2, but of course we do have many other characters that would fit a lot better, being primarily gun-based fight style, stuff like that. So I think Judge Dredd is in my honorable mentions. Would be a cool guest character, but didn't put him on the actual top 5. Next up here we have Invincible from Image Comics. He's sort of like the Spider-Man of Image Comics, just as stronger, sort of like Spider-Man, Superman combined. And I thought he would have been a sick guest character for Injustice 2. Moving on here to the third and final character in my honorable mentions, and we have the Shadow. So a lot of you guys might not know who this is unless you grew up in the 90s and watched the horrendous Alec Baldwin Shadow movie. I grew up watching this movie, so I have a fond nostalgia of it. I could watch it even though it is definitely one of the worst superhero movies of all time. But the Shadow's been around for a really long time, has interesting powers that would be very, very interesting in a game like Injustice 2. And I think the costume pieces for him would be really, really cool. But those are my 3 honorable mentions. Now let's get on to the actual top 5 list. So I'm gonna get this one out of the way because it's just a character that myself and a lot of people have wanted as guest character for another round game for a very long time. I definitely would have preferred him in Mortal Kombat, and the same will probably go for the 5th character in this list. But I just want to see him in another round fighting game as a guest character, and of course I'm talking about Spawn. He's pretty much a given at this point, to be honest. Ed Boon has teased Spawn being in Injustice 2. He won the guest DLC poll, so he's pretty much a given at the moment, but it doesn't matter. I still really, until he's actually playable in the game or we see a reveal trailer, nothing is guaranteed, so I have him on my list. Moving on here at the number 2 spot, we have Witchblade. And this was a comic book strip by Top Cow Productions, the same company who made the next character on my list. But Witchblade is this gauntlet that gives its host powers. And if you ever walked into a bookstore or comic book shop, the Witchblade comic book would immediately stand out because it was like a half-naked chick with the Witchblade gauntlet, and that was pretty much the cover of all of the Witchblade comic books. But it wouldn't take away from the fact that, the Witchblade gauntlet gives awesome powers to its host, and in a game as beautiful as Injustice, come on, who wouldn't want to see that? So moving on here to the number 3 spot, we have the Darkness. Now, I definitely have seen different countdowns from people, and the Darkness is right up there as one of the most requested guest characters for Injustice 2. He has all type of powers. He even has access to a different dimension. He could control demons from that different dimension, and just that alone would be awesome. Having a demon-like trait. The same thing with something like Zod had, where you could summon a demon. Maybe they could step it up a notch and have the darkness do something even bigger than that. I think that would be really cool because, like I mentioned, he has access to a different dimension. He could control demons from there, and summoning the demon, or maybe even multiple demons as his trait, would be really, really cool. Plus, he looks awesome. So, moving on here. All right, these last two are a little wacky, and these are just characters I would like to see in there. At the number 4 spot, we have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It doesn't matter which one. I would probably go with Raphael because he has the size, and I think he would be a Melina style. You know, he would have like a piercing Melina style of gameplay. He could have the size as projectiles and many, many other things. And of course, with the way Injustice 2 works with the gear system, you could palette swap the different characters and probably be each of the Ninja Turtles, depending on what gear you pick, and maybe even weapons, maybe even the gameplay style changes depending on what gear you have. That would be really cool. And I know that's based on a lot of videos that I've done about Injustice 2. A lot of people would want to see a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle as a guest character in Injustice 2. So, moving on here to the final spot. This is a character that I absolutely love because he comes out in one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And like I mentioned at the start of this video, I think this character in Spawn would fit more into a Mortal Kombat guest character, but like I said, I really just want to see these characters playable in another NetherRealm fighting game because I know they would do them justice. And the last one is Ashe Williams from the Evil Dead franchise. Evil Dead is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, the original one, the original Evil Dead. The remake was okay, don't get me wrong, it was okay. It had a lot of cringy moments in a good way where, you know, it's just gory as hell, and I think they did a pretty good job changing the story, but not too much where it wouldn't be Evil Dead. You know, I still really enjoyed it, but the original Evil Dead is just tops in my book, one of the best horror movies of all time, and Ashe Williams is one of the baddest characters ever, and having a shotgun in one hand and a chainsaw in the other hand would be awesome. So those are my top 5 guest characters for Injustice 2. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys want to see any of your favorite characters, of course, leave your top 5 list in the comment section. But this is my list. This is my list. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. What's going on, guys? It's Super here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys subscribe or check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.